Man, I just have to say, I know we've only known each other for a little bit, but
Yeah.
within these past 8 months since the film premiered at Fantastic Fest, and seeing this film get picked up, critically celebrated, and you land in an Evil Dead film, it's been an incredible ride. So I'm just
Oh,
happy for you and really
dude,
proud of you.
thank you, man. That means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been wild. I don't know. I can't connect the dots, dude. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
As I mentioned here, we spoke 8 months ago about this film, and I really wanted us to meet again to talk about it some more because there are so many different angles to take, and I mostly concentrated on writing last time because that's generally the area that I gravitate towards.
Yeah.
So in my prep for leading up to this convo, my focus took me to your directing and editing, which are two other hats that you wore in the making of this.
Uh-huh.
I'll start with editing. There's a moment when Faison Love, who plays Vernon, the gas station motel owner, and he's about to do a title drop, and you hilariously cut to another scene before he has time to finish the line. I
Yeah.
thought it was great, and it's one of the many moments in the film where you swerve from what's expected. So I would love to know about your general thoughts about title drops in movies, where a character says the title of the movie in a line of dialogue, and how that led to you edit like this editing joke. And are there any good examples of title drops that you love?
Yeah. This was actually written into the script, the cutting off the title. I mean, just because there's so many times in the movie where, it's like, this is the last stop for 100 miles. We
Yeah,
say it so many times that I was like, okay, we've gotten to the point where I just have to say this is the last stop in Yuma County, but there's no fucking way I'm going to say that, So it was like this is the last stop in ellipses, right? That was in the script, and I think even when people read the script, they're like, but you're not actually going to do that. And in my head, I was like, of course I am,
yeah,
Well, even when Faison was doing that part, he was cutting himself off because that's what was in the script. And I was like, no, dude, just say the whole line and then I'll cut it off in the edit. But yeah, I remember Jim was, I think him and my buddy Scott and James were like the first people to watch the very first cut. And Jim laughed so hard at that part. He was like, "You're you can't do it. You have to cut it out. Like it's nobody's gonna take anything serious after this because it's so absurd." And then I was like, I don't know, man. I kind of love it. And he called me later that night and he's like, "All right, I can't stop thinking about it. It's really funny. Don't cut it." And I was like, I was never going to cut it, But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. But going back to your question, about other title drops. God, I'm trying to not fully awake yet. I don't know. What are some
The two that come to
yeah.
my head right off the top is Jurassic Park, Welcome to Jurassic
Okay.
Park. And then for some reason I love Hot Tub Time Machine. Like what is this?
Mhm.
Some Hot Tub Time Machine? It's
Yeah,
just
that's good.
or,
That's
or
really
Face Off or something like that.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are good. I'll just
Yeah.
use yours. Those are great.
Yeah. I mentioned there how you swerve from what's expected. Even in showing the film to my wife last night, there's a moment when you do a slow pan around Jim Cummings's knife salesman character outside. And
Oh
my
yeah.
wife started grabbing my arm and she was like, "Oh, somebody's gonna pop up behind him," because that's often what happens during an intense mood like this.
Yeah.
However, you go another way and you continue to surprise viewers. So I'm just curious about what put you on this path of pushing against traditionalism, and like what sort of cinematic breadcrumbs have you been collecting along your journey that led you to trust the swerve and don't go with comfort?
Huh. That's a really good question, man. I don't really know. I think that's just like my inherent nature is like I'm like, this is what you would expect. So I kind of want to do something else. I remember it was like, and I did the same thing. I don't know if it's like fully apparent in this moment in Last Stop, but there's a moment where Travis goes outside to check the motel,
Mhm.
uh, and he looks in the window, right? And then we think like, and even I was trying to explain to my DP, I'm like, it's like this feels like a horror movie. I'm like, exactly, but we're gonna cut to like the rifleman, and it's not anything. He's like, then why do it? And I'm like, why not? It's fun,
Yeah,
like, it's completely like subverting every expectation it's that you can. It's just I think it's just kind of what I gravitate towards. But in terms of like a reference for that, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I enjoy it though, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, keep doing it.
yeah,
Another element that I like is what you communicate visually about the knife salesman. There are moments when you establish a shot of him unfocused, allowing him to step into the focused area. It's seen in a moment where he steps into the diner for the first time, as well as the beginning of the very pan around
yeah,
shot that I was talking about in my last
yeah.
question. But I would love to know more about using the visual language to communicate certain details about your characters, whether it's the haziness of the knife salesman's background, or getting a bird's eye view, which that can't be accidental at all, considering the running image perspective of the bird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. There's sometimes it's like it's a you trust your gut, right? And you're
Yeah.
like, this just feels right to me. This is like, I mean, look, there's if there's two people talking in a room, there's 1,000 different places to put a camera. But where's the place where you're going to put that camera if you can and you turn off the sound and you can convey an emotion from just what's in the frame with no dialogue, right? Like,
Mhm.
and I kind of always think about that. I'm like, what tells this story if we had no sound? If I had to pick one angle. And like I said, like sometimes it's just sort of a gut reaction and then you talk through it and then or I'll talk through it with my DP and we kind of make sense of it. We're like, why does this feel right? And it's like you said, like, oh, all those overheads, of kind of before everything hits goes to you cut to the sort of almost top downs on every single character. And without sounding too pretentious, you kind of like go through you talk through those decisions and you make sense of it. But yeah, and in the case with Last Stop, it was like we didn't have time to get a lot of coverage. We really had to commit to, you know, um, these long takes, these like two shots, and all that stuff was very, very prepped. Is this a video? I can show you something that we like worked on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, hold up. So this is sort of like uh what my DP and I do. This is shot designer, so it's just like a whole book of every single shot in the movie that we
Well,
talk through and like you know discuss why are we putting the camera there and yeah, thought that was yeah
yeah.
our little our guide yeah.
Little Bible. All right, awesome. I know we're about to be run out of time, so I'll
Can we add man, I want to talk to you. Sam, can we add like a few more minutes? Is that going to push us too far behind?
Yeah, you guys can get like 2 extra minutes.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
I'll ask one final question.
Cool.
So, speaking of character details, I really love the moment when the great Richard Brake, who plays one of the two brothers involved in the robbery at the center of the film, is trying to strike fear into those at the diner,
Yeah.
which he's not even trying. It's so effortless for him.
Yeah.
But the moment when he shouts, "Got it!"
Mhm.
How does it feel to have a moment in your film where an actor can take things from a somewhat comfortable place, even though it's intense, so I guess quietly intense, to a level where you're in total shock and fear as a viewer? Because the only thing I can really compare it to is the feeling of when Bilbo screams at Frodo in the Fellowship of the Ring when
Yeah, yeah.
he has to hold the ring one last time.
Yeah, yeah. Dude, I mean, honestly, that was all Rich. That extra got it. He added that, and it scared the living shit out of everybody.
I felt like the
Um,
color in his face changed.
I know. And then you could see him sort of like try and like get his composure back. He like swallows afterwards, and it's like it was terrifying, man. Like yeah, in the script, there's just the one got it, and then he added that, and like literally the whole crew just
Yeah.
jumped, and we were like, yeah, no, he is incredible. And like you said, it's so effortless for Rich. And that's what we talked about a lot during, talking about his character was just like it's calm and collected. Like he knows what he's doing. He's terrifying. He doesn't need to like prove himself in this circumstance. That's like the one time where he's like lets that out a little bit. I mean, it's just funny too because Rich is like the sweetest guy ever. He's just
Yeah.
very, very. Have you talked to him?
I have not had that pleasure yet.
Oh man, he's like so soft spoken and sweet and so thoughtful. And you see him on screen, he's just terrifying, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you should if you want, I can try and like connect you guys if you want to interview him.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Cool. Awesome.
Well, I know we're out of time, but I really hope we get the chance to talk more often. Let's stay in touch. Like I
Yeah,
said,
man.
really just excited for what you got coming down the pike.
Thank you, man.
So
Dude, thank you so much. Let's definitely, do this again and maybe book a longer interview.
yeah, that'd be cool. All right.
Awesome.
Have a great
Hell
rest
yeah.
of your day.
All right, you too. Thanks, man.
Learn something new every day.